Welcome back to Elevate Inspiration for Sunday School. This week we're starting a new series called Faith Series. And our first lesson is why do you worry? It's taken from Matthew, the 6th chapter, verses 25 to 34. Think about this for a minute. Worry is a universally human experience. Our brain constantly provokes us to evaluate our circumstances and identify threats to our well-being. Threats are many, but when they are minor, we exaggerate them and imagine threats do not exist. We leave ourselves with restlessness, sleepiness, loss of appetite, short temper, and feeling of hopelessness. However, in our lesson today, Jesus addressed our deep capacity to worry. He tells us not to worry, but he does so differently from others. And his conclusion are calls of a great faith in God. That's the reason why we're calling this our faith series, because each lesson is going to point us towards faith. Let's get started. Okay, now remember this is Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, and he's right in the middle of preaching this sermon. And he's really asking a question. He's trying to get them to understand what is life like under God's rule. So with this verse, which is verse 25, he says, "Take therefore, I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body what you shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment?" So he's trying to get them to focus away from worry. He wants them to actually put trust in God. That is the key thing. That's the reason why he starts comparing their life like birds. Is your life more than birds? For even the birds, they don't reap, nor do they sow. They don't put things up in a barn. But God feedeth them. And then he ends with a question in verse 26. Are you not much better than they? In reference to birds. So in that day and time, if you think about it, life consisted of really three things. Survival skills. You had to have food, you had to have water, you had to have clothes. If you didn't have those things, you were unable to survive. And he's comparing. Look at the birds. Are you better than they are? You mean more to God. So what is life like in God's kingdom? He cares for us. And then in verse 27, he really gives us the futility of worrying. He states, which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature? Basically what it is the context of this statement is not about height, but it's about survival. So if you look at it, can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life? Can you, if worrying so much, will it actually increase your life and allow it to exist a little bit longer? This is the futility of worry, because of course the answer to that is no, you cannot do it. In verses 28 and 29, clothing is a necessity, especially in Jesus' day. For Jesus, the audience, clothing was difficult to come by. This is the reason why he said, why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, and they toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. So he takes the lilies of the field and he turned the audience to that, to let them see, look, they don't do and worry and toil, but look how God clothes them and make them so beautiful. And then Jesus argued from the lesser to the greater by quoting this verse right here. If God so clothed the grass of the field, which is today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, O ye of little faith? You know, if God gave splendid clothing to the common plants, how much more will he do to those that are called his people? And he throws it back on again. Of ye of little faith. Think about that. Think about the faith that we should have in God. If he does all this for Mother Nature, what will he do for us? Lastly, Jesus actually give us the remedy of replacing worry with faith by stating, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." See, to seek God's kingdom and his righteousness before our basic needs appear to make us more vulnerable, but in fact, the opposite is true because God reigns in his kingdom. He is able to grant his people exactly what they need when they need him. So if you think about, he ends with this verse right here that is often quoted. "Take therefore no thought for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself." And what Jesus is saying in his closing remarks is remind us again that God is in control of the future over which we have much less, if any, power. To take no thought means to have no worries, to not fret. We must, again, put our trust in God. That is the reason why we have this faith series, to remind us who we put our trust in. So my lesson learned from this is three things. When I put my trust in God, I feel free from the burden of worry. Number two, worrying does not keep me alive because only God's provision can sustain me in the trials of life. And finally, I cannot rename my worries with the term concerns, but I should replace worry with trust. Our thought today is actually a quote from Corrie T. Boom. "Worry empties today of its strength." And I repeat, worry empties today of its strength. Hey, this has been great, you all. If you look in the far right-hand corner, you will see our Zoom discussion meeting, which will occur on Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And here's my meeting ID number, which is 642-382-0755. And the passcode is CU123. Hey, I thank you all. This has been great. And like I always say, see you in Sunday school.